When Jurgen Klopp arrived in England in 2015, in a few instances during that time due to his perceived arrogance and stubbornness, the Liverpool manager was labelled as a young Arsène Wenger. And while that at the time was a tad unfair, now that his time in England has come to an end, it's pretty ironic that Wenger is probably the manager whom Klopp's legacy is the most comparable to in English football, with the jolly and jovial but often jagged and jarringly jibber-jabbering now jobless German giant justifiably in some people's eyes having surpassed Le Professeur's work in England. In some people's eyes. Not mine. And if I'm honest, not mine by a long shot. And here's why. Okay, please remember, I am only taking the too tall, tactically tantalizing and trendy trusting top tier coaches' time in England into account. So, sorry but there will be no consideration for Klopp's amazing work with Borussia Dortmund or Wenger's historically significant stint in Nagoya Grampus 8. Sorry, I'm a little scared to say that out too loud in case my camera starts floating. So instead, this is solely Klopp at Liverpool and Wenger at Arsenal. And yeah, I don't even think it's that close. So yeah, as usual, let's start with the numbers. Jurgen Klopp won 8 trophies in 9 years for Liverpool, while Arsène Wenger won 17 in 22 for Arsenal, with Klopp's single greatest achievement being the Champions League trophy and Wenger's being a Golden League title. Now if you ask me which one I'd rather my club win, without a doubt it would be the Champions League. Anytime, any year, any day. But this is the thing about judging on the surface, because if you look a little below that, Liverpool during that run had a winning rate of just over 61% with a famously narrow escape in the semis. In contrast, in the run up to Wenger's single greatest achievement, his side went unbeaten in the Premier League during a time where the mid-table competition was statistically stronger than it ever had been. Watch this video for more info on that. So while I still stand by the fact that I'd much rather have a Champions League than an unbeaten title, there's no question over which one of these particular runs was stronger. And no, obviously I'm not judging their time in England solely on that. That would be dumb. So let's take a look at some of the other great hits. So Klopp took over a team with a comparatively limited amount of resources and turned them into serial title contenders. But to be honest, you can kinda say the same thing about Arsène Wenger. Klopp also successfully implemented a footballing philosophy into a team that historically didn't exactly play that way. But again, you can say the same thing about Arsène Wenger. Klopp went head to head and toe to toe with arguably the greatest Premier League side of all time. You can say the same thing about Arsène Wenger. Klopp more often promoted younger unproven players and unlocked their true potential instead of just splurring cash and bringing in finished articles. One more time, you can say the same thing about Arsène Wenger. And this is the difference, my friends. Because you see, unlike Klopp, Wenger came into a country that was steeped in a certain tradition and basically revolutionized their diet, training methods and approach to professionalism. Unlike Klopp, Wenger holds the record for being the most successful manager in the oldest footballing competition in the world. Unlike Klopp, Wenger came in and right away had to compete with a team and manager who were already stable and dominant at the very top, and as a matter of fact he went on to dethrone them multiple times. And unlike Klopp, Wenger came into a side as relatively unknown and left as the greatest manager in the club's history. And while that last point may not necessarily prove him to be the better manager when all is considered, when it comes to leaving a legacy behind in the club they managed as well as English football, for me there is no doubt Arsène Wenger clears Jurgen Klopp, and clears Jurgen Klopp by quite some distance. And that is that. Agree or disagree beats indifference. Once again, don't forget to like, comment and share, and of course subscribe. Till next time, you keep rolling.